multiple females who are not Mrs. Urban Meyer, and the internet went crazy. Social media imploded or exploded or both. He was trending on Sunday morning, a Sunday that the Jaguars weren't actually playing football. And I didn't know what to do with it. I told the writers at PFT, we're just going to stay away from this until the Jaguars say something about it or Urban Meyer says something about it. And on Monday morning, Urban Meyer, Chris, had his press conference, usual 2-3 times a week. Urban Meyer was asked about it right out of the gates, and here's what he had to say.
I just apologize to the team and staff and for being a distraction, just stupid. And so I explained everything that happened and owned it, and just stupid. Should not have myself in that kind of position. There's a big group next to our restaurant, and they wanted me to come over and take pictures, and I did. And they're trying to pull me out on a dance floor, screwing around, and I should have left.
How did the team react? I mean, they're probably pretty reactionary. Or, how did they take it, your apology?
Well, I've always been so defensive of them. I remember when Trevor told me he was going to go to Vegas for his bachelor party. I mean, I was just, my gosh, man, be careful and surround yourself, and because I've seen this happen. And so the team. I spoke to a bunch of leaders one-on-one, spoke to all the players. They're good. They were focused on Tennessee, and I apologized again for being a distraction.
Yeah, the key is they were focused on Tennessee. They were until they had to deal with this, until they had to take time out of their Monday to have to hear from the coach and process what this all means and ask themselves, man, what would happen to us if we created this kind of a distraction for the organization? The coaches are not the ones, Chris, who are supposed to be creating the distractions. And Trevor Lawrence has to be wondering, how did I get pulled into this? Wait, I wasn't even on the team when I had my bachelor party in Las Vegas. And I get used as the example of the advice Urban Meyer gave. And it just shows how stupid the whole thing is. Urban Meyer didn't take his own advice. And the lack of self-awareness is what's stunning to me. And anytime I see that kind of poor judgment, you wonder how else that defect manifests itself in everything else the person does. If you allow yourself as a man in his late 50s who understands how these things work, understands what's going to happen, he's posing for the photos. You understand, this wasn't anything that was done surreptitiously. He was smiling for the camera. If he's not able, at that age, to make the connection from point A to point B to point you're sleeping out in the street for a month, if not longer, and you're creating a mess for your team, and this is not going to go away quietly, and it's going to be a big deal. If you can't figure that out, what other stuff is going wrong with your team that isn't obvious? How else is that flaw affecting your ability to turn the Jaguars into the best team they can be? And I think that's a relevant thought, because there's something that ain't right there for him to have not realized where this was going to go, to not envision how A leads to B leads to C leads to D leads to what we saw yesterday.
Yeah, well, yeah. I mean, I hear what you're saying. It's almost like, are you that, unaware or like not aware of like the figure that you are? I guess that's what's a little concerning. Self-aware has come up a few times already in his short career with Jacksonville Jaguars and some of the things that have done there, whether it's back to the strength coach or whatever, to where you just go, like, what the hell? It's 2021. I could have told you that was going to happen. Like, and listen, I did plenty of dumb things back in the day, certainly. But, yeah, I mean, here I am at 41, and I feel like, what? I would never put myself in that situation at this point, and I'm not Urban Meyer. That's where I'm just, like, shocked by it. Like, really? You thought that you were going to go to the bar or the club and have a girl grinding up on you on a video to a degree, and that nobody is just like a bunch of Ohio people, we're just going to let it go and go, hey, let's let him have his privacy. Yeah, that goes on this day and age. That's what's crazy. And then here's the other thing that I think this is the first thing that jumped out to me was I went, wait, what day was this? Saturday? What? They're 0-4. We're taking the weekend off as the head coach? 0-4, we're just taking it off. I don't know. I mean, to me, again, I understand that coaches needed some time off and everything like that, but damn, I think if you looked at a lot of the top coaches in football, they're not just like, hey, we played on Thursday night, going to take a vacation this weekend and hang behind and go to some bars and hang out. That to me was weird in itself.
Yeah, even though the players get a little bit of a break, the mini bye after a Thursday night game, that doesn't apply to the coaches. The coaches get right back to
Usually
work, especially after a loss like that.
Right.
Remember how heartbroken he was, the post-game press conference? Now, I think if I understand the timeline correctly, because it was so late on Thursday night, I think this happened Friday night. But he said, we went to the restaurant. We stayed behind in Ohio to see the grandkids. Well, if you would have focused on the grandkids, that would have kept this from happening as well. I didn't see any grandkids in those photos. So there's a lot of challenge flags. You talk about throwing the challenge flag.
It's all
you run
over.
out of laundry quickly.
There's a lot of red
on this one.
Yeah.
And you know what bothered people in the NFL more than anything else? Now, of course, they understand it was stupid. It was lack of self-awareness. Why the hell is he wearing an Ohio State logo on his? He's Jacksonville Jaguars head coach now. Not that he needs to wear Jaguars colors everywhere, but there are people in the league who looked at the Ohio State thing and thought that is just really odd.
It is.
That a guy who left Ohio State multiple years ago. And hey, my approach to what I choose to wear is whatever's the cleanest and the closest. But when you're the coach of an NFL team and you no longer have an association with Ohio State, it is kind of weird to see the guy walking around in Ohio State. But hey, he's in Ohio. I'm still the king of Ohio. Even though I'm the coach of the Jacksonville Jaguars, here I am. I'm the king of Ohio, and I shouldn't even have to ask you to put your phones away when I walk in the room.
Right.
Maybe that's what he thinks.
Maybe. Listen, I mean, Pete just got Meyer, and he goes, "Have you ever had a coach not fly back with you for a game? After a game?" And I thought about this already, but I don't think so. At no point.
You probably had times you wish that he didn't.
Oh, definitely.
Right.
Can we leave Gruden behind? We don't need him, do we? I don't want to have to deal with him tomorrow. I didn't play good. He's going to kill me in the meeting tomorrow. Oh, no. But, yeah, it's just rare. And, again, I understand that all these guys need free time. It's a grueling job. But, like, to what you said, like, hey, usually when coaches have a weekend like that, yeah, okay, maybe you do take Friday off. All right. But usually you're back in there grinding Saturday, Sunday, or you're there Friday and it's just like smaller hours. Okay, we didn't get here at 6 a.m. and we didn't stay till 11 o'clock at night. We got here at 9. We left at 4:30. We got some work in. We got some things accomplished as a staff and a team, and you move forward. I think that to me was what I think jumped out to me more than anything about the weekend events.
Apart from the stunning lack of self-awareness and inability to imagine how these dominoes will fall, apart from that, I almost feel like Urban Meyer is determined to not be so wrapped up in coaching, to not hold on to everything so tightly like a Bill Belichick does. That Meyer decided, if I'm going to do this, I'm going to do this. I'm going to try it this way.
Right.
I'm not going to be completely and totally obsessed with it because that didn't do me any, good service in Florida or at Ohio State. I'm not going to get wrapped up in it. I'm too old for this stuff. I think I can be successful without being fully and totally obsessed with it. You're going to find out that doesn't work. There's a reason why Bill Belichick grinds and grinds and grinds all the time and is working and is working and is planning and is scheming. I don't mean that in a pejorative way, but he's always trying to come up with an edge because it's all so close at the NFL level. You need that stuff to force it your way in a key moment. And I just, I thought the talk after week 2 about USC and Urban Meyer won't last. This is way too premature. But after what's gone on so far this season and after what happened this weekend, I will be stunned if he's still there next year.
Wow.
Whether he gets fired or whether he quits, I don't think he's going to be there next year. Barring a dramatic change in events, I don't think he's going to be there.
Wow. I hear you. I don't know. I didn't. I haven't thought about it in those terms, but certainly some shaky things have happened this year. There's no doubt. I still have faith in Urban Meyer in a lot of ways. I do. We've seen little snippets in every game where you go, damn, the team's got it going. The game plan's right. They are young, and there's, mistakes to be made. We saw a little bit of how good they can be a little bit on Thursday night, even though it kind of fell apart there in the second half. But Yeah, I'll be interested to see where it goes, Mike. Certainly, I understand your reasoning or thought there behind that.
This is all still fresh and new, and it's hard to have full perspective on it as the events are still at this stage. But look, I look at it this way. And I never want to delve into someone's personal life. It's personal for a reason. But, Chris, you and I think, can bring to the table a very important perspective. When you have a spouse, a life partner, somebody who has to deal with all the crap that we throw at them because of how hard we work. Well,
right.
How hard I work. You're different. You only work 3 days a week. But I'm kidding. But, it's demanding.
Right.
And it's stressful. And we're in the public eye.
Yeah.
And there's constantly that low level of, what's he going to say next? What's he going to do next? They carry that around. And they have to be ready to defend us, and they have to be ready to deal with the dumb stuff that we do and the criticism that we get the 98% of the time that we don't even deserve it. There's a background noise that you have to tolerate.
Yeah.
So then you throw on top of it
Right.
something as stupid as what he did, and as directly to the heart of that relationship that he's had with his wife. I'm telling you, the statement's going to go along the lines of, it's more important for me now at this time